Okay, race 2 for the touring cars got underway properly at Snetterton. Green flag, well, green lights went on and away they went. The Jeff Steele BMW, being driven by Scott Kinton, took the early lead after a blinding start from the mid-pack, the first BMW to actually lead anything so far this season. As they went round Ritchie's, everything was fine for the first lap. The Woodkirk Peugeot still in third place. One of the Corollas went spinning off in the background at Ritchie's as the rest of the field made their way through Sia, seeing the Ford Mondeo of Owen Potter being shoved out by the Vauxhall Cavalier of Ben Singleton up there in a very spectacular fashion. The BMW still led the way down the back straight at Revit and into the S's for the first time. Side by side between Wilms and Chris Wilkes, also allowing Kevin van den Bosch to come through in his Peugeot. They went side by side into bomb hole and into the barrier sideways went the Peugeot after a very unsporting move from Shane Wilms in the independent entry, the second race in a row where those two have met door handles, and this time Kevin came off worse again. Chris Wilkes meanwhile Owen Potter meanwhile was challenging the Vauxhall Cavalier, Ben Singleton coming through the Russell chicane. But again, the Vauxhall Cavalier shut the door quite firmly on the Mondeo and was not letting the second place car in the championship come through with any ease. Callum Thornton, we saw here, was challenging the back of the Renault of John Smith. As up ahead, the Woodkirk Peugeot was under pressure from the Mondeo of Chris Wilkes. Behind, Thornton looked to the inside of Smith. They banged door panels, and Smith went off the track and into the runoff area. That let him get taken by a stream of two Mondeos. Russell, Thornton made a move on the inside of the Ford of Chris Wilkes, but that just left him open to a swarm of Mondeos, and Callum Thornton was swallowed up by all three Mondeos. His main championship rivals all streaming past him in one go. Aaron McGrath now had the train of the Mondeos, as behind Chris Wilkes made a move on the inside of Owen Potter made a move on the inside of teammate Chris Wilkes, as off the road went Callum Thornton behind after some contact with John Smith. Off the road, meanwhile, went the leading of the Mondeos, Aaron McGrath, but he got followed off by, I believe that was possibly Owen Potter. The three Mondeos still scrapped along as off the road went Aaron McGrath, as meanwhile the lead had been taken over by Shane Wilms in the Peugeot. McGrath able to rejoin, but both his teammates had got past him, and he is now under pressure from the independent Harlow Motorsport Renault of John Smith. Scott Kinton was trying to challenge the back of Shane Wilms. The two independents battled for the race lead into Ritchie's. They banged door panels, off the road went the Peugeot, and through went the BMW to lead the race, heading up into Sear Corner once again. But Kinton backed off due to unspotted manoeuvres behind, so Mondeo friendly fire, and off went Chris Wilkes after being jacked up by his own teammate Owen Potter. I think there may have been some ways of the paddock after that. Meantime, Callum Thornton accidentally spun John Smith's Renault round as into the S's. It was side by side battling for the lead, and through to the lead went Shane Wilms in front of the BMW, but here came Owen Potter, the race winner, heading for his double, coming through into second place on the inside, going through the bomb hole. Round Coram, the Ford trying to look on the inside of the Peugeot, but it was not to be, and into the chicane for the next time of asking. Down the inside when came Scott Kinton in the BMW, but couldn't quite make the move, and the Mondeo got the run, almost off the corner. But the BMW had the straight line speed briefly from the Mondeo, before the Mondeo would obviously find its legs late in the straights and fall in the slipstream of the BMW going into Ritchie's. Potter did not make an attempt into the brakes at Ritchie's, which was a surprise really for Potter, as he's one of the most aggressive drivers on the touring car field. But he tried again, this time at Sia, and he got the move done on the inside. Behind, Aaron McGrath did an identical manoeuvre to Callum Thornton, making the Mondeo charge even stronger, but Thornton got the run round the outside of the Mondeo, coming down Revit straight, and retook the position and cut across the nose of Aaron to make sure he didn't come back. But that didn't last long, as Aaron made the move on the inside once again, going into the S's, the left, then the right, but Thornton had the nose ahead and was able to keep ahead of the Mondeo, headlights ablaze as it was at Brands Hatch. Meanwhile, the second place car went off the road. We lost the independent Jeff Steele BMW Scott Kinton, who led most of the race. He went off the road and backwards into the sand. Meanwhile, the Vauxhall Cavalier of Ben Singleton got past the back of the Mondeos of Chris Wilkes going round Coram. Side by side they went, but the legs were ahead for the Vauxhall Cavalier going into the Ritchie chicane. Going into the Russell chicane, rather. Meanwhile, at Sears, we had a battle going on between Aaron McGrath and also Callum Thornton. These two are scrapping over third place. Aaron got the nose alongside the Peugeot going into the S's. But could he make the move stick was the question. Barrelled down the inside, but he couldn't quite make the move, with Thornton having the inside for the second part of the S's, and the Mondeo was somewhat forced off the track. I can't imagine there was many friendships been made. Meanwhile, Aaron McGrath was trying to distract Callum Thornton by flashing the lights, but the best option he had was distract himself, as meanwhile off the road went Aaron further round the lap, leaving open to the recovering Peugeot of Kevin van den Bosch, who managed to go from last to fourth in about 5 laps. No mean feat when the field is so spread out as it was here at Snetterton on this particular event. The Mondeo did try a comeback on the Peugeot, but it wasn't to be coming out of the chicane. So he tried going in towards Ritchie's prime overtake opportunity with a bit of tight 90-degree right-hander after a very long start-finish straight. He looked to the inside, but Kevin was able to fend off round the outside, and the Mondeo dropped decidedly back. And I don't think it was quite able to make a move going round Sears. Off the road a lap later went the second and third place battle, the Woodkirk Peugeot and the manufactured Peugeot, Shane Wilms and Callum Thornton, leaving them to drop behind your race leader. Meanwhile, Aaron McGrath had to go at the inside of Kevin van den Bosch. Once again, could not make the move stick, but no worries. Round went the Peugeot of Kevin van den Bosch and into the grass in exactly the same fashion as Scott Kinton did 3 or 4 laps before. Meanwhile, change up for second place here. Callum Thornton goes through for second on the inside of Shane Wilms and makes the move stick, going round Sears in a fantastic manoeuvre. Further round the lap on the final lap though, off went Shane Wilms over the grass and nearly took out Callum Thornton when trying to rejoin. His own Potter took the flag for Mondeo, taking them to the leader of the manufacturer standings. Callum Thornton second place. The Woodkirk Peugeot got third, taking them to leader of the independent standings, and Kevin van den Bosch was the last car in the top 5.